Hi, it's Ileana Kapolnik here from Cosmic Wisdom Teachings, doing episode 2. Today I'd like to talk about creating a wooden pyramid. It's very healing to do this. I built one in my meditation room 2 weeks ago. What I did was I had chosen to buy some wooden dowels that are almost an inch in width, and I did this so I could create my own healing pyramid. Like I said, in my meditation room, I had done a lot of research and reading about the healing properties of pyramids, the Egyptian ones, and I saw a guy on the internet, his instructions that he had made a pyramid, a wooden one from bamboo sticks. So I decided to try and build one myself, which turned out pretty well. So that's one of the topics I'm going to talk about. So what I ended up doing was going to Home Depot. I had purchased the wooden dowel sticks from there. I'm in Canada, so the Canadian one had it. So basically what ended up happening is the wooden dowels were 8 feet by 8 feet in length. When I brought them home, what I did for the bottom of the base, I used 4 of the wooden dowel sticks to basically, I trimmed them to 74 feet in length, and I tied them with non-slide white rope, thin rope strips. So if anybody's thinking of building one, just make sure the rope is long enough. And it was pretty cool doing that. And for the top base of the pyramid, for the top 4 dowel sticks, what I did, I kept the length 8 feet for that. And what I did was, because my meditation room is 10 feet by 10 feet in size approximately, so I basically did a obelisk shaped pyramid. From my research, I had seen that a gentleman had built some healing pyramids in Moscow, and they were obelisk shaped. So it's fine to have either an obelisk shaped pyramid or the triangle shaped pyramid. They're both triangles. It's just the obelisk is narrower at the top, and the Egyptian pyramid is it's wider. It goes more wider towards the bottom, from top to bottom. What I found when I built my obelisk pyramid is that I was able to stand in it with my full height. I'm 5'5", and it's about 8 feet tall. So that really actually helped me, the obelisk-shaped pyramid. So what I did was I had put in a footstool into the pyramid, so I'm able to sit down and have a soft cushion as well on the footstool. Sometimes my lower back hurts, so I can't sit cross-legged on the floor. So I needed something to be able to put into the pyramid in a sitting position where I'm sitting straight up, but in a raised position, so my feet are flat against the floor and not bending. They're straight, kind of on the seating arrangement, so that worked out pretty well. And generally what I do is I usually have some spiritual meditation music that I use. The music is very soothing. It calms me, it grounds me, and it basically allows me to get into a meditative state that sometimes I go into a trance-like state when I'm deep in the meditation. And in the beginning, I would go into the pyramid for 10 to 15 minutes each day, because the energies of a pyramid are very powerful. Pyramids are power sources, they're energy generators, and they're a healing tool. So basically, when I went into the pyramid, I felt really strong energies from it. So it took me some time to adjust to being in the energy of the pyramid. I felt like there was a vortex in the pyramid. Pyramids are also portal doorways to other dimensions, and there's 12 dimensions, so a pyramid could easily open a portal doorway and you can go into another dimension astrally, or even literally, depending on your abilities, how strong you are psychically. So, and I've experienced that with this pyramid. It's helped me to sleep better. I have a sleep cycle that's uninterrupted. I sleep through 10 hours nonstop in the nighttime after I've sat in the pyramid and meditated. So that's one of its healing properties, as well as it's an energy booster. So if you're feeling tired or low on energy or weak, the pyramid will help to boost your energy, as well as realigning your auric field of your body, fixing any DNA issues, anything to do with genetic structure and DNA. It's also good for realigning the DNA sequences and healing whatever ailment you have. I found the pyramid helps me to really relax, and it alleviates my hemiplegic migraines. So I have less headaches than I used to before. It's helped me with that. As well, when I've sat in the pyramid and meditated for about 20 to 30 minutes, it raises my psychic abilities. I find myself going into astral travel. My most recent experience with the pyramid was seeing myself looking at a glass window pan with the raindrops falling on the glass, and basically that was like a mirror image of what I had seen. I've seen and heard. I've been hearing running water every night that I go to sleep, and I opened the window and checked outside, and there wasn't any running water. This happened at 1 a.m. So basically there wasn't any running water outside. What I was hearing actually was a waterfall from another dimension, from a higher 8th dimension, from another planet called Altaris in the Pleiades star system. It was basically an invitation call from the Shen, which is a humanoid type ET race. The Shen, what they do is they invited me to come to the planet through hearing the waterfalls. There's a lot of water on their planet. So that's how I got my invitation to visit them. And when I went to Altaris, I learned that the Shen are beings that can run beyond the speed of light. So when they run, they have this green aura around them that speeds up their running process. That's one of their abilities. And they can run from one side of the planet to the next in about 20 minutes time without needing any type of physical transportation except running on their own. So that was amazing to do and to experience. I ran with them. My physical capabilities were amplified when I was on the planet. I physically went to the planet. So my abilities were amplified. I had a light body when I was there because it's the 8th dimension in the Pleiades star system. So my abilities were psychically amplified tenfold, I could say. So I ran with the Shen. And I also met the Vala, which is another second race that lives on Altaris. And the Vala have this translucent green skin and elongated heads. And the Vala's abilities include teleporting themselves from point A to point B on the planet in less than a minute. They do this with a visual thought form. So they basically think of a location where they want to go. They visualize that location, and they physically teleport themselves to that location. So that experience was amazing to see them do this, and to hear how they explained it to me, how they do it. Eventually, human beings will be able to teleport. That will be one of the abilities we'll have in the near future when we've all gone through our awakening processes and the ascension processes that each of us will experience in one way or another. So that mirror image of the droplets falling on the window pan that I had seen in the pyramid as rain falls, that was kind of like a mirror image, is what I said, to visiting Altaris and hearing the waterfalls and seeing them, and going through, I guess, that's how I go into the planet. I see and hear water, and it's like a water portal that takes me to the planet. It's very interesting. It's hard to describe it. It sounds weird, but it's really amazing to experience it. And going back to the pyramid experience, another thing I had seen is my future self, maybe 10, 20 years down the road, looking for Stargate portals on Earth. I was somewhere in a deeply forested area, maybe the Amazon, and I was looking for Stargate portals. I had both my hands up, and I was feeling the energies of looking for the Stargate portal. Both hands were raised, and I saw this kind of a blue liquid formed energy field, like a wall of it. And I was basically touching the energy field with my hands, feeling it, to see what it was like. There was a lot of electricity, white light and blue light, electrical field, grid field, and it was liquid. It looked liquid. So I touched it, and it felt okay to me. So I went through it, and on the other side, it was the dimensionality of it. The density of it was so light. It was almost like there wasn't a density. It was fluidic space. There wasn't any time per se, like that which exists on Earth in 3D dimension. So the density wasn't heavy. It was quite light. And I believe what I saw was third dimension. What I saw was a future Earth that was no longer third dimensional. It was 5D Earth, or even maybe 6D. The new Earth, as has been described, when the Earth has gone through her transformational process and is no longer 3D and is a higher dimensional planet. So basically there was no war there. Everything was peaceful, harmonious. The people coexisted with each other in tranquility, with love and happiness. That's basically what I saw. And the white, blue light, the combination of both colors, the energies there were really healing. They healed me profoundly on both the emotional and the physical level. I felt like I no longer had a totally solid corporeal body. I had both an etheric body, a light body that was pure energy essence, and partly a corporeal body. I had both at the same time, and I had the ability to switch either to a fully corporeal body or to an etheric one, or to have a partial corporeal and etheric body. Both energies mixing, so that was amazing to experience. And that was my future self in a time that will happen, I believe, in my future at some point. I will get to experience that beyond the 3D dimension again. And after seeing this and experiencing this, I went back into the trance state in the pyramid. I was still sitting down on the footstool, and I was taken back to ancient Egypt, where I saw 20 pyramids with gold coating on the top of the pyramids. And from the top of the pyramids, there were these golden spirals coming from the pyramid and going towards the sky, and then back towards the pyramid again. Top, bottom, with the energy going up and going down. I believe that these were the power sources and the energy generators that the pyramids had been used for. So it was quite interesting to see that. I believe that the golden energy spirals were powering ships in the atmosphere, above Earth atmosphere, in the orbit. And basically they were creating power grids, electricity. Also, the pyramids were used for healing ceremonies at that time. The energy that was harnessed from the pyramids were used for light healing with laser beam technology. That was part of what the pyramids were used for in ancient Egypt. There was an ET race back then that helped to build the pyramids. I've seen a few documentaries showing this, possibilities of it, and I believe it was that way because I was shown the past and how the pyramids were built with levitation and teleportation abilities and scanners that could lift heavy bricks and levitate them towards the pyramids. So basically I saw the exchange of the power energies from the pyramid generators going towards ships and then back into the pyramid, back and forth. So again, the pyramids were used as energy sources to power ships, to power electrical grids all over the planet, to heal people. So that was a confirmation, seeing that in Earth's distant past, in ancient Egypt, that technology, seeing that was amazing. For me, I always thought it was that way. Now I know for sure. I trust what I see, what the pyramid shows me, as pyramids are this pyramid that I've built is very particular about the type of healing it gives me. Each time the healing is different, every time I sit in it, and every time I see something different as well. And what I've learned from my research on pyramids, the wooden pyramids hold the energy in the wood structure itself, in the wooden dowels, as well as they hold the energy in the center of the pyramid where the person is sitting, as opposed to copper pyramids, which hold the energy in the copper rods, but not really in the center of the pyramid. So that's the difference between wooden pyramids and copper pyramids. Not that copper pyramids aren't good, they are. It's just that they hold the energies differently. And the way that the energies are amplified. Natural wood is a great energy amplifier, and it's quite safe. It's really safe. You don't get too much energy, and you don't get too little energy. It's well balanced with wood. That's what I found. And I can meditate during the day or evening. The energies are wonderful and safe, as far as I've been able to determine through my meditation. As well, my mom meditated in the pyramid, and she got a profound healing experience out of it. She was guided one day to go into the meditation room where the pyramid is, to sit on the footstool. And basically, while she was sitting on it, after about 15 minutes of going into a meditative trance, this was without any music, just soft lighting. She felt that she was tilting instead of sitting straight up, that she was tilting forwards from the footstool. And she was going down, down, and down in her posture and tilting towards the floor more, in a kind of kneeling praying position while still sitting in the pyramid on the footstool. And while this was happening to her, she felt this warm golden light ray energy passing through her spinal cord and going towards her head. My mom has had some back problems in the past, and sometimes she still has some back pain on occasion. So she felt this warm golden light ray realigning her spinal cord and her muscle tissues around her back, and as well towards her head. And she felt much lighter in vibration and density. That's what she told me while this realignment process was happening to her in the pyramid. As well, she saw this golden triangle in the shape of a pyramid. So that was another confirmation that this pyramid healing really works. My mom believes in meditation, and she believes in trying new forms of alternative medicine healing. So she was open-minded towards exploring being healed in a pyramid, in a wooden one, in my meditation room. And my meditation room has many crystals in it. It's also a crystal room. So it's a combination of meditation room / crystal room. So there are other healing tools in that room that help with energy realignment. I believe my mom's auric field around her back was reattuned and healed while she was sitting in the pyramid for 30 minutes. And she asked me, do you usually have that type of an experience when you sit in the pyramid? And I said, every time it's different for me, what I experience while I'm in it. So that was interesting for me to compare what my mom experienced and what I had experienced and seen. And I generally feel much more calmer when I'm sitting in the pyramid after the meditation session is done. I'm more calmer, I'm relaxed, I'm not stressed out. So that's another benefit of a pyramid healing. And also, I wanted to share some other experiences of mine that I have recently gone through. I've been going to the Andromedan ships quite often, the biosphere ships, and I got to visit one of their shopping mall centers, or a shopping mall as you can call it. I prefer to call it a shopping center, and so do they. So basically, when I went to one on the biosphere, on the primary Andromeda biosphere, I saw the staff and officer crews of the biosphere entering the shopping center and getting goods. Basically, somebody wanted a handheld clutch purse that is also a mini computer. Not sure how that works, but that's what I saw them getting. And basically they don't have any money. They don't have a money system at all. What they have is digital work credits. So basically, the work you do on the biosphere ship, there are credits for it. It's a digital system. It's stored on the computer. So the amount of credits you have with the work stuff, it goes towards trading for goods or services. And the wonderful system that they have is, even if you don't have enough credits, you can still get the item and it'll go on your tab. And once you have enough credits, it'll take care of itself. And you still get the item that you need. So it's like an honorary tab system as well. And that's quite nice that they have this. As well, work credits are counted for volunteering work. So you can do volunteering work, and that will go towards your credits for getting things, as well as doing work practicums or internships. That also counts towards the credits. And the wonderful thing about the Andromeda Council is that you can try out any type of work that you're interested in learning about and experiencing. Whether you like it or not, whether you're good at the work or not, it doesn't matter. It's an experience that you're participating in for the purposes of learning and growing as a higher dimensional being. So you can do work rotation. 1 week, for example, you can work in the library, in the records hall and archives hall. And next week, for example, say you can work in the medical center and do healing work. I'm a healer. I'm an intuitive empath and a psychic. So I'll use myself as an example. As well, I'm a library technician. So I can work in a library for 1 week, do a 1 week rotation. Then, as I said, I could do a 1 week or 2 week rotation in a medical center. I could do crystal healing. I can do energy healing. Or I could do sound healing. On the Andromeda ships, crystal healing is a huge part of helping to de-stress, realign the auric field, clear the 12 cosmic chakras. Yes, they have 12 cosmic chakras, not just 7. Higher dimensional beings have 12 chakras and sometimes even more. Also sound healing with singing bowls. They appreciate music, and music is very healing. They do that as well. They also do energy healing with laser beams, which is light healing technology, using different color spectrums to heal wounds, diseases, ailments. They almost have no diseases at all because of this advanced technology that they use. And I actually got to see that in action. I received a healing in one of their medical centers when I was actually lying in a crystal grid that was around my body. So I got to leave my body astrally and go to the ship that way. But I've been going to the ships physically, not astrally. I have a light body that travels in space. So it physically takes on a somewhat corporeal manifestation, and it goes to the ships. So I got to see how they do that for work rotations. And the good thing about it is, if you don't like the work that you tried out, you can move on to something else and get to try something else out until you're happy with finding a job vocation that you actually like and can do. And you can do rotations, so you don't have to do the same job over and over again. That sometimes gets boring, and they have a wide variety of job selections you can try out and learn and grow from that and get new job experiences, learning growth potential to be your highest self, to be the best you can be potentially. So that's how they approach jobs, and even hobbies sometimes count as jobs. If you like being an artist or a healer, then you can do that, and it counts towards credits to do that. So that's one of the interesting things I've seen on the Andromedan biosphere ships. It's quite forward thinking in how they approach job work, in my opinion. And I hope in the future the same thing could happen in Earth. So you don't have to go through any tests, job interviews. If you want to try something, you should have access to trying to do that job and learn on the job the skills that you need to know to how to do that job. Sometimes it could be stressful to go through interview processes, especially when you don't know what the work is like. You've never done it before. Sure, you've studied theoretically in college or university how to do the work, and you've had some practicum experience. But sometimes that's not enough. I work in a library. for a university. I know what that's like. Sometimes you don't get a job right away until you've had some experience actually doing the job. So it's great that the Andromedans give you the opportunity to try out what you're interested in and see if it suits you or not. It's free will. You have those open-ended opportunities. And that's great. Hopefully we'll have that on Earth soon too. And switching to the digital work credits as well, that would be nice instead of having a physical money system. So that would be good as well. I've also gone on the Arcturian starship Athena, and I've walked in their healing corridors. It's amazing the lighting that they have. They either have soft yellow, purple, or blue lighting. So when you walk in the corridors, the lighting actually heals your auric field, realigns your chakras, fixes DNA issues, any genetic problems. It heals you. As well, they have the music halls. Yes, they have the music halls where basically music heals you. I like to call it their sound halls. I got to walk in those as well, and the music is so soft and melodious. It heals you right away when you're walking the hallways of the ship. And everything is so serene and quiet. There's no noise on the ship. Everything is ergonomically designed, and so your environment is very comfortable. You don't have any issues with anything. The technology is quite advanced. Anything you need is there for you. And what I found amazing is the food replicators on the Andromeda biospheres. Basically, they can replicate any type of food that you like. Even if you want to have some meat, they have meat substitutes. Say you want to eat a steak. The replicator replicates the steak for you. It looks like a steak. It feels and tastes like a steak, except it has meat substitute proteins. So you're actually not eating meat. You're eating a healthy protein substitute. And that's optimized for healthy living for your body. You can get more energy boosts from the substitute than from eating actual meat that came from a dead animal who had fear before it died. And you don't want that fear transferred to you. And the replicator, they have replicators in all of their living quarters. If you want to have a party or something and to get a lot of food, it would take the replicator some time to replicate that. So you would go to the food galley, and there are chefs there that like to cook, and they'll make you something for the party that you request. So that's great to see the food being handmade, or to program the recipe that you want and have the replicator make it for you. And the great thing is about the replicator is that it replicates the food on a plexiglass type of material, not on a plate, not on a glass or a plastic plate. So it replicates the food on a plexiglass plate, like I said, or on a bigger food dish made of plexiglass. And then you can basically transfer the food onto a plate, or you can eat it on the plexiglass dish. And once you're finished, you put the plexiglass dish into a device that dematerializes it, so it dissolves, and basically it's recycled. And so no energy is being wasted. No energy outputs are being wasted. No materials are being wasted. So that's great. So if you don't like cooking, you don't have to. As well as cleaning, they have cleaner bots that come out of these little doors in the walls. It slides out, it cleans up any dust, any dirt in the staff quarters, even the hallways of the ships and crew decks. So they have cleaner bots that do that. And then the cleaner bots quietly slide back into the encasement in the wall, and you don't see them or hear them. They're very quiet. Of course, you do still have to pick up after yourself, clothing, that kind of stuff, and hang it up. That's still done manually. So that was interesting to see that on the Andromedan biosphere ships. As well, I got to touch base with some of the AT races that I'm in contact with. The Anusani, they are a cat-like people, and they helped to teach me how to realign my chakras and to do energy healing. It was great to meet them. That was one of their messages. I actually went to their planet. That was the first planet I physically went to. As well, I got to meet the Asarians and the Zarians, and I got to help them in how to build a light body with an ethereal Merkaba, using light energy to do this organically without using any technology. It's all done on the etheric level to build a light body. So if they want, they can have a partially corporeal body, as well as a light body, all in one. So they're not totally physical looking. They can have a combination, like I said, corporeal and the etheric together. So basically what they'd be able to do is walk through walls or quickly move from one point to another on a planet, or even off planet for that matter. That's what a light body allows you to do. So I got to help in that process for the Asarians and the Zarians, and they're an 8th to 10th dimensional race of beings. Some of them look human-like, some look more etheric and translucent energy. They still have a body shape, but it's kind of translucent. And they can be cloaked or uncloaked. So that was a great experience for me. As well, I got to meet 2 universal guardians. One is male. His name is Ashar. He's from the Pleiades star system. Basically, what he helped me is to shield me from any negative energies or beings that are around me at this time, and basically shielded me from feeling the worst of the ascension symptoms that I've been experiencing, like the migraines. He's helped me with that. And also the second universal guardian is Bashira. She is from the Zarian Council, and she comes from the Altan star system. And she helped me to realign my DNA and genetic codes, so I am able to process the light codes and DNA upgrades better at a more efficient rate, and not be overwhelmed by all the information I'm receiving from all my ET contacts, from light energy sources and gamma wave frequencies like wave X. So I'm able to receive those codes and energy waves in a more smoother transition into my body and into my brain and my heart, and process them more easily without getting sick, and understanding better the information that I receive. So she helped me with that. It was great meeting Ashar and Bashira. And I've put up that information about how they look, about the Azarians, the Asarians, the Anasani. It's all on my website. Messages from a Star Traveler. I put a lot of my research up there about spirituality. my experiences with various benevolent ET races, my contact experience, and what I've seen and done in my present life recently for the last couple of months. So you can find a lot of information on all of that. Yes, basically I like to document all that I experience, see and hear, physically, emotionally. I find that it's important at this time frame in my life, at this time period, as I am becoming a multidimensional being and traveling in different dimensions. As well, I also wanted to touch base and tell you a bit about Amaru Muru, Stargate, that I astrally traveled to in Peru near Lake Titicaca. The Amaru Muru Stargate portal basically looks like a carved doorway with a keyhole in a mountain range, literally carved into the mountainside, or there's some forested area nearby as well. So I went through this Stargate portal, and it took me down to the Maldek tunnels. The Maldeks came from a planet that exploded near Earth a couple of million years ago, I believe. So they came to Earth, and some of them lived near Peru for a time, and they built these sturdy tunnels underground. And these tunnels have these light sources, these light tubes that actually power the tunnels. And the tunnels have these computers, mini computers, built into the walls of the tunnels. So you can access any information you want about the Maldeks, the tunnel systems, about Earth's history from those computer systems in the tunnels. So I got to see that when I astral traveled there. As well, at the end of the tunnel, I got to see the golden sun disk of Mu, which is actually a huge sun disk with symbols on it made from gold. And I got to help to realign the planetary axis of Earth. So the planetary tilt is now centered. It's not off balance. It's basically very much centered. So the geothermal core of the planet is more stable because of this, and the planetary tilt is not tilting in the wrong axis, and that's stabilized the shifting of the poles, the north and the south poles on the planet. So that's a great device. You basically use your psychic abilities to activate the golden sun disk of Mu and work with it and work with the symbols. It's somewhat on an etheric level and higher dimensional plane. You work with that device. As well, I got to see a Stargate portal that was circular. It looked very much like the Stargate portal from the show Stargate SG-1. There's this huge keypad with symbols on it, with glowing symbols, and you can activate different codes into it to go off-world to different planets, and it utilizes wormhole technology that's more organic, and it's safer for humans to use it to go through the portal without being dematerialized and not materializing again somewhere. So it's more safer. Wormhole technology is a lot more stable than black hole technology. So I got to go through this wormhole Stargate portal. Of course, it had this kind of liquid energy that appeared in the portal, which allowed me to travel from the Milky Way galaxy to the Andromeda galaxy. I ended up on a 3-deck space station. I materialized on their portal gateway, on their jump pad. I could say I quantum leaped in time into the future, and got to visit with some of my Andromedan friends from the Star Traveler's lifetime, because the Star Traveler takes on a light body and can travel out in space without needing a starship. So I got to see the Andromedans as well. I got to visit the planet Andromeda that the space station orbits above. A lot of the staff from the space station actually go on vacation to Andromeda. Andromeda has this beautiful purple blue sky. It is mostly made up of water, oceans. There are land masses, and it's a beautiful vacation planet, as well as a technologically advanced world. It's a jewel of the Andromeda system. Wow, it's beautiful. So I got to experience that and learn from the Andromedans. I got to see their advanced technology and what they do. Then I went back through their jump gate back into the Malduk tunnels, and I also saw this black hole device that also allows you to do time travel, quantum leaping, further out in the galaxies. But it's black hole technology, so it's more technologically based in how it's powered and activated, as opposed to the etherically activated Stargate portal. So I had to use the manual controls for the black hole device and interface with the technology, which I didn't have to do with the wormhole Stargate. It was on an etheric level, so I like to use the wormhole devices for Stargate travel more than the black hole device. I believe the wormhole travel is more stable, and in some points on Earth you can actually access the wormholes with your thought patterns and open a portal that way without using any technology. It's natural wormhole portals that we have on Earth, which can be accessed, especially if you have strong psychic abilities. You can access them on the etheric level, and the wormhole portal opens up on the physical plane of existence, and you get to travel on different points of the planet or even off-world that way. So there are those options, and I've seen that as well. So that's my Amaru Muru experience, and seeing what's in the Malduk tunnels, what was left behind. This is still advanced technology, and the only beings that can open the Amaru Muru Stargate portal is the ones whose genetic DNA structure is of light energy, of benevolent energies. The negative beings can't open that portal and go through it. Only light beings with special genetic coding can access them. The Amaru Muru Stargate. And I was one of the fortunate, lucky ones to be able to do that and to have that experience. So I've seen and done a lot of interesting things recently. And I went to Amaru Muru December 2014. That's the first time I went to it. And I've seen it a few times more. But I've done the work that I needed to do in that area of Peru near Lake Titicaca. It was spiritually amazing and also healing in a lot of ways. So I'm glad I got to do that. And I just wanted to share this information with everyone who listens to my podcasts. So thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye.